Hi. Let me teach you about Gabra. We're in Hode, right? Hode's the right hip, front right, back of the left if you're doing it on the 3D tree. All right. Gabra is the right shoulder. This was the best teaching I've ever gotten about Gabra. I was walking through the park and I like to pick up trash, right? This is my Finding Dory stuff. Like God's like bringing me back home with like intelligence and lessons and plans by like the litter and things I pick up in the park. I pick up a red tennis ball that's just sitting there. And I'm being told to throw it at the tree. And hit it. That's Gabra. It's fucking basic. Hit the target with your actions and your follow through. Let me teach you about separatism. If you think that you're better than Trump, you're going to have to fucking prove it. Most of you guys are so entitled shits. You guys left me to starve. Every single one of you left me to starve to death on a beach for whales. After a lifetime of me having dedicated service to humanity. There is not one person on this planet that's better than Trump. Not one. Except for me. And maybe Shay, maybe Simon. So, the only way to be better than Trump, you have to be at Trump and then one-up him. You cannot beat the devil until you're being at the devil. And then one-up. Climb higher. Higher on the tree. Higher. Excuse me. Higher. I am going to be the biggest Nazi on the planet. I'm going to be more Nazi than Hitler. Period. I mean, I'm going to make sure that everyone's going to be a master or a saint or they're gone. That's Hitler style. Mass exodus of the planet. Whether I'm doing it for good or evil, that's something else. But that's what a planetary ascension looks like. I don't even have to physically do it myself. I just have to send my Gabra energy and hit the core of the planet. That's it. It's that simple. So, it's already been done, by the way. The grids for that have begun. I don't even have to be in a body to set that grid. I could be dead. Period. So, saint or master? You get to pick your choice. You go, the really first smart thing to do is go, I'm going to turn on my saint genome in my body. And then make sure it goes in your lower self below your legs. So all the way through. And then you're going to turn off the anti-saint genome. Red wing, blue wing. Active, passive. This year's magic, or this next year's magic, is all about the red and blue wings. Go right, left. So right, what I'm creating. Left, what I want to leave behind. So I'm turning on saint, leaving behind not saint. And then you can go up into master, and then you go turn on master, turn off not master. And then that frees you up. And then you start obeying laws. Like, turn on, I am on God's side. Turn on, I am not on God's side. Turn off. Yeah, I've already done all this work. You know why? Because I have 45,000 hours in training. Separatism. See how it says make dragon kings great again? That's better than Trump. That's better. Smarter. It's more chivalrous, and it's more sophisticated and more powerful. Right? If you don't understand that the dragons run Gabriel and Hesed, then you guys have issues. They're higher on the divine food chain than humans. So we're all just dragon slaves. Everybody. Everyone on the planet. Unless what? Unless you're an archangel. But to be an archangel, you'd have to be like, I've been trained by Lucifer, and I can even handle the archangels. Because the archangels are even fucking meaner. Nobody gets that. They feel like lightning. Like you're being electrocuted. Their energy is so fast, you can't handle it. It's like a nuclear explosion in your body. Okay. Separatism. You guys thinking that you deserve better fates or fate than Jesus is insanity. Divine servant to God that gets tortured to death. If you think you're going to separate yourself from Jesus, wake up call. Or me. I was tortured for 12 years. I went to bed crying myself to sleep for 12 years. If you guys think, and then sacrifice myself on a beach for whales, and nobody care. None. And if you want to say, that's just your karma, and you haven't done the same level of work that I've done, then that's your guys' karma. Because you're trying to separate yourself from me, thinking you're going to weasel out of your guys' karma. That's all you guys do. You guys are all liars and cheaters and stealers and killers. You're killing a planet, if not actively, passively, by every purchase you make, by everything you guys post, by every lie that you guys tell your friends about, like, oh, who slept with who? And seriously. to think that you guys think you deserve a better fate than Jesus is insanity. The only reason I thought possibly I could deserve a better fate than Jesus was that I might suffer more than Jesus did. Period. I went through more pain, more suffering, more karma burning, etc. It's the only way out. Be more of service. That's it. Let's do it this way. You see my elf popping out? My elf self? All right. I really like the shade in my eyes, by the way. Felt nice. Anyone claiming to be Jesus or like Jesus or a dragon king without answering my calls for help is neither Jesus nor a dragon king. You can't be separate from me. I'm a shaman. I'm an ordained minister shaman with 40,000 plus hours of service and training. And teaching. And if you separate yourself from me, you're nothing. You guys don't even know how to turn on your genomes. I could go out into the wild and Mother Earth is going to protect me. The planet actually talks to me and tells me where to go and how to move around. The spiders crawl on me in like orders. And as I progress into the divine more and more, nature and me become one. And you guys are going to be left in the dust. You can't even do the spider meditation or take the class. Some of you can. If you don't like what I'm saying, understand it's going to be medicine for you against every other motherfucker that tries to weasel their way in. You digest it, you absorb it, and then it's like cobra acid at everybody else. It's a superpower. It's just truth. Let the truth set you free. God's time, BS. All right. If you think you're going to wake up on God's time, it usually looks like eating shit from teachers. And putting the work forward and paying it forward. Going, God will pay me back. God's time is now. Today. Do it now. Get it done now. Show up now. That's God's time. God's time is not, 50 years in the future. No, God is like Zeus, like lightning. God's time is today, now. Your time is a year, 50 years in the future. Because you're a piece of shit. If you think you're going to wake up on your time, you're probably going to lose an eye or an arm or a kid. Because it's the karma that you deserve for not showing up on God's time. As long as you make God's servants wait, God's going to fuck you, punish you, or worse. Take everything from you, because you're taking everything from God. Every day you waste my time and energy, you're wasting God's time and energy, because I'm showing up for God and Mother Earth, and you guys can't even bother to send an email saying, how do I be of service? Some people can. Like Allison Bacon goes, what do I do? And I go, I'll let you know later. Because what God wants Allison to do is going to be different than what God wants Kit Harington to do. Because Kit Harington is a piece of shit, and Allison has been showing up for God for a while. This is just normal guru teaching, by the way. SLAVA. Here is Hod at the right hip. Netzach is at the left. To get from Hod to Netzach, you have to cross the tower. That means destruction. The energy from the tower is ruled by Gabriel and Mars, which means kill everything. It's that punch teaching I'm trying to tell you all about. So how do you get past the tower? You have to detach from every outcome and show up for God now, so that God can provide the brick for you to step on, and then the next brick for you to step on, and the next, and the next, and the next. Constantly walking in faith in the unknown, brick by brick by brick. There's that. Eventually, as this becomes an actual physical manifestation, you might actually have to be an elf to even be able to handle it when you're doing it in the physical world. There's an image of Legolas having to climb the falling bricks so he doesn't end up being plummeted. Now, mentally, this means your whole life is just going to be destroyed. Everything. So you might as well not attach to any of it, because if you attach to any of it, you're going down with it. But if you can let go, this is where that let go, let God thing comes in. If you can let go and let God, that let go and let God teaching comes in. If you can let go and let God give you the brick to move forward on, into the unknown, you might be able to cross into Netzach. You will first have to pass Elven Judgment. And we'll talk about that in the elf video on elves. SLAVA. SLAVA is, I will surrender my entire self to be of service to God and the earth and do God's work. Sometimes it looks like having to look like this because the Dalai Lama has to drop a bomb saying a spiritual teacher that alphas him, like a female Dalai Lama, has to be pretty. So I will stay pretty as long as I can so I can do this to him. And then I'll be of selfless service on top of it. So I'll teach and I'll do magic and healing. Brick by brick by brick. My priority is to heal my students big time and the kids surrounding them. And the planet. You get what you give. So my students show up for me and they do SLAVA work that I ask them to. And they pick up trash and they learn lessons and they show up and they watch the videos and they get the movies and they ask the questions and they participate. So then I participate with them. So again, if they show up to do SLAVA, God becomes SLAVA to them. You will learn. It is either SLAVA or see the lava. Period. Saints or masters only on this planet. And I can guarantee you the saints show up for SLAVA. And the masters are masters at it. Forever. There is no such thing. I mean, just the idea that I'm even lowering my vibration to explain this and dumb it down for you is insanity. There is no such thing as a master without SLAVA. Period. All they are is just a humble servant of God forever. Forever. They might not be a servant to man, but they are a servant to the divine. In some lineages, it's called Seva. But that kind of like gives you an ego buzz that I'm going to cut down and say SLAVA. Because that's really the truth of it. I'm just God's slave. Social climbing. Let me tell you this. When you're God's slave, you're the alpha. You should be like, I'd rather be God's slave than think that I'm not God's slave and then be some other human slave. I'd rather give my power like God than Elon Musk. Renunciation. It's a really big virtue. Social climbing. Alpha, 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 alpha. That's all I hear from all of you guys all day long. I don't want to do this. I don't have to. I'm better than her. 1, prove it. 2, I can. I can do it with a math test. I can do it with mirrors. I can do it with quantum logic. You guys are idiots. Alpha. Alpha. Climb higher. The higher you climb on the tree. Climb the higher points of the tree. My boyfriend went to Eton, Oxford, and Cambridge, and is a spiritual teacher. Nothing. If it's nothing to me, it's nothing to God. He is that because he's a servant to God. Excuse me. I did this thing on my Facebook with the social climbing with all the empowered women. So let me tell you about the solar plexus. It's all about power hungry. It's all personal power. So of course I put on my Facebook all the women that are like so personal empowerment. Goodney thinks that he has somehow crossed some Christ abyss, but he can't even say hi one to me, much less can he talk to or engage with any of those women. So that's a delusion check. There is no Christ in him until he can, 1, heal the relationship with me and all of them. And if he thinks that, oh, it's just because they're a lower vibe than him, then work with me and star. No, you don't. Or what, 50 other spiritual teachers. And then it's just all I hear, all the excuses that he's going to come up with. Because he's a demon. So this is how you like alpha that shit. Give them tests. Make them do the work. Prove it to them. Women, smart women, will always be able, always, to defend themselves when they unite with other women. Always. Not my problem. Most of you guys, when you read my posts, or you hear me say, oh, nobody's shown up, da, 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 da. The first thing in your head, it's usually a soft whisper in the background that you're not even paying attention to, is this mind chatter, like, which I don't even have. I don't even have mind chatter. You guys have reptilian brains. My brain is divine. Not my problem. That's the shit that goes across your head. And then you buy into it. Every single thing that's wrong on the planet, you should be going, my problem, how do I fix it? My problem, how do I fix it? My problem, how do I fix it? My problem. Oh, the lighting sucks. My problem, how do I fix it? Oh, there's a homeless person. How do I fix that? Maybe I need to feed them today, now. Oh, here's a $50 in my wallet. There, God will pay me back. Like, my problem, my problem, my problem, my problem. Oh, I'm too poor. My problem. That's you without excuses. Oh, I can't go starve on the beach. I have a kid. Maybe go send your kid, because we're all going to die on this planet because nobody knows how to do anything. My problem. Find out another creative way to help out, where you're actually having to do real work instead of watching the Desperate Housewives of Beverly Hills. My problem. My problem. The real God. That's all the real God gives a shit about. The real God does not give a shit about your guys' prayers. The real God gives a shit about teaching you guys soul lessons. That's it. So that you can ascend into heaven instead of troll down around here in hell. Which is why Earth looks like hell. Even London, the fanciest, nicest part of London, looks like hell. The Royal Gardens look like hell. The Royal fucking Gardens. St. James. Like, the middle, everything. It's disgusting. Cigarette butts everywhere. Litter everywhere. People trolling it, just as everything. Looks like hell. Lighting change. All real God wants soul lessons. Forever. Separating your karma from mine. Any of you guys that want to blame my reality on my karma, let me tell you, you guys have way worse karma than I have. Period. Lucy, if you can't channel Lucy or talk to Baba G or get an apprenticeship with Star, like, believe me, you guys have really shit karma. Your guys' root chakras are crap. You have almost zero energy coming through your body. You guys are all sick and diseased. Like, you guys are all in fucking fake ass relationships with like people, just everything. It's a one-way mirror. Whatever my karma is your karma. But whatever your karma is not necessarily mine. It's not. That's how every alpha guru feels like. Because they've spent their lives actually doing the work. And then they get shit on by people, by trolls that have done nothing. So they feel like princesses. Yeah. Dealing with muck. And then if that troll actually has the audacity to breathe on them with lies, it makes the guru want to do that to them. Every single one of them. And I'm talking about like the higher female spiritual gurus. When I see an actual Hierophant, I'll let everyone know. Period. I have not seen one my entire life. 0. So, my spirit dragon, and Lucy, the closest thing. The archangels. Like that. But not one single man running that Hierophant energy. So separatism leads to failure. Not my failure. I don't care if you guys live or die. You guys sacrificed me on a beach. And still are not showing up. God does not care. Your guys' separating yourself from me is your guys' failure. My role is to stop separating myself from the God. The planet. And the animals on the planet. That's my priority. That's all I do all day long. How do I teach Kabbalah? And then go pick up litter. And get messages from God. Anything else? You guys' SLAVA, litter pickup. It's writing SeaWorld. It's writing PETA, asking PETA, how do I help? It's doing things. That's your SLAVA. If you don't want PETA, then do another service-oriented like that. Make sure it's, and then, or green stuff. Green, green, green. It's the only way into Netzach. This is where you're finally agreeing with God. Instead of fighting God. Just remember, there are virtues and vices of Netzach too. So lower yourself and be prepared for an ascent that's going to continue for the rest of your existence. Because even after you die, you still have to do this work. Forever. Kali Ren out.